you know, shifted their skills into a profit-making business. And Jim Hill owned the Jim Hill String Band in Nashville until he died in the 1880s.
You know, Dr. Levitt, and let's give you an opportunity over the last 3 minutes that we have to sort of summarize this book. That is, certainly it has been sold widely throughout the area and et cetera, but during this last few minutes, how could you see, how do you see this book as being used by whatever public that you think can use it, and how can it serve the general population and et cetera dealing with Nashville?
Well, I tried very hard to make the book a book that the general public could use, that could be used in college classes. It could be used for high school students as well. There's something in the book for almost everybody, and I think the chapter that I'm most proud of in this book is chapter 10, chapter 9, I'm sorry. That chapter is a chapter on the history of politics among African Americans going back to 1835. And one of the things that people today will be surprised about is that African Americans were Republicans until really about 1951.
Good. Well, explain that. We've got about 2 minutes for
Well, as you know, when African Americans were allowed to vote again after the Civil War, 1867, February, the legislature approved freedmen to have the right to cast a ballot and run for office. Well, the Republican Party was a party that had freed slaves and gotten rid of slavery, and that was Lincoln's party. And for 2 generations, almost 3 generations, African Americans remained absolutely loyal to the Republican Party. So I give incidents in the book where there were African Americans who tried to start a Democratic Party in town, and they would throw eggs at them, rotten potatoes, they would run them off the street corners and so on. They believed that to be a Democrat or anything other than Republican was absolutely disloyal to the image of Lincoln. But by 1951, as you know, we began to transcend from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. And finally, by 1960, John F. Kennedy does get a majority. The first president to do that gets a Democratic president, gets a majority of the African American vote. And then Jimmy Carter gets over 90% of the African American vote, and Clinton gets 95%. And so only in the last generation have we shifted from the Republican to the Democratic Party.
Very good. And Dr. Levitt, let me, over the last half minute that we have here, thank you for bringing us that excellent information in reference to the African American population in Nashville. And as we said before, you know, we've been around to many stores and we've seen this book advertised, and we felt that we've seen it on many other shows, and we felt that we ought to at least see if we could have you to come here and to give us some information in reference to it, and to tell us why you think that this ought to be one of the books that folks can use as a source of reference. And I think that you've been able to give us that information today, and we certainly want to thank you for coming by and doing that. And we want to